All right, it is Thursday, November 16th, 2023, 9 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time on the dot. I'm your host, OUFlagGuy, and in this corner, big OU and OSU fan, weighing at 145 pounds. And he's the master of disaster, the bringer of pain. We've got Swiggy.
Why am I in this Bush League live stream now?
Hey, shut up! And in this corner, weighing at 155 pounds, world three-time pick'em champion, ready to take down the world, Gavin, the man of the hour. Are you ready? Remember, you only win if it's a pinfall and or a pin and or submission. Yes, I had to get that out of my system because it's like a horrible fanfic. Like, Big 12 is going to be sponsored by the WWE. Ha! You're you're not joking. Think 3 or 4 more games, gentlemen. 3 or 4 more games, and we're out of this Bush League conference. I cannot believe they actually. Did you think they're going to get a give out an actual toy belt from Walmart to the outstanding player? I'm like, see, now I want OU to just go to it to win it so they can never lose it.
Oh, man. Let me tell you something.
It's dumb.
I gotta tell you, I gotta pick with the Big 12 after all of this here and everything. You have no idea that you're gonna be messing with the wrong conference after we go into the SEC.
It's so dumb. I can't look. I have no problems if a company wants to sponsor. That's their own business. I'm not gonna ever say that, but it's so silly. Like I said, it sounds like a horrible fan fiction that you can find on like fanfiction.net. Yet here we are in real time, them sharing the Big 12 logo. Like, is this, how do you do, fellow kids? Are we back in the year 2000?
Do kids still watch WWE? Or is only a certain, I don't know, just based on Twitter, whatever's going on with Twitter. It's I'm not sure I see a lot of kids going big on WWE, but I don't know.
They're going more AEW anymore.
Okay, I
was
guess
thinking more UCF, but yeah.
Well, yeah, that too. It could be UCF. It's not WWE. And that's even with my lack of knowledge with WWE. It's not WWE. Well, maybe it is at this point with how the refs have called everything this year and how they're trying to change the rules at the end. I mean, maybe it is WWE. Are they going to surround like the field with a cage and one of the players is like going to jump up at the top and just like full on body slam somebody down into the field at this point? Oh, and he fumbled the ball because he fell off the top of the ladder.
You know, I very much don't think that there are bad ideas when it comes to sponsorship. I mean, NBA making Kim Kardashian's shapewear official undergarment of the NBA, I thought that was bad. I thought that was weird, but I can normally roll my eyes and be like, whatever, that stuff just happens. But even for the Big 12, this is a new low.
Swiggy, is it good? Are we realistically going to have it like, oh, and it looks like in the last couple seconds, Texas is going to beat K-State in the Big 12 championship. Oh my gosh, it's Bill Snyder. He has money in the bank. The game's going to overtime, boys. The game's going to overtime. But they're ahead. Nope, doesn't matter. That's the rules of the game.
They say all they want about wanting to like make the Big 12 hip for a younger audience, but I promise you, football is the only thing that is hip with a young audience. I mean that football is the only thing that continually gets ratings. I don't understand your need to try to force a relation here where the pre-hype stuff I thought was bad for like early morning games, like having Cincinnati's concert at like 10 a.m. was dumb. But I can at least appreciate an idea to make the pregame more fun, especially in new Big 12 cities. to try and get fans out for what are bigger games.
And at some point, the older fan is getting phased out, and that's okay. Like the demographics are changing. Yes, you're going to need to change stuff. This is not the direction to go, though.
No. I mean, if you're trying to get it for a certain demographic and stuff like that, especially for like all the 90s, 2000 kids or something, that's one thing. If there was some sort of effort or something. I mean, honestly, I would prefer it to be sponsored by Dr. Pepper than I would WWE, if anything. At least I can be able to have some sort of, respect along those sort of lines. But to have it like some sort of weird entertainment business decision like that, this is like one of the most weirdest partnerships that I have to see. And not only that, I am also interested like how they're going to do that logo with the Big 12 on it, and then on top of it has that weird W on there. And it's like, why is there any correlation on that sort of issue between these two?
Because
not really a whole lot.
Because they were too cheap to pay for Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, then again,
I'm
you could have asked Travis Kelce, though.
Yeah, I'm joking. I'm joking about that. But no, it's just but I mean that's the other thing. It's the Big 12 just keeps doing this kind of tiddlywink stuff, and like it's not
Bush League. Just call it as it is, Andrew. It's Bush League.
No, because the Mountain West wouldn't do it. If the Mountain West wouldn't do it.
No, the Mountain West wouldn't do that because that would break the bank.
Yeah.
True.
I mean, okay, and then here's another realistic opportunity look at it too. It's like, if anything, other than OU and Texas, who are the big power brands, what other brand, that's in the Big 12 that can, pull their weight?
Obviously,
yeah.
Hold up.
Here's the thing. If you're talking brand, BYU, but that's for religious reasons.
Well, yeah. But you see where I'm getting at, because there's nobody else in the conference other than OU and Texas that has a lot of more of that input. When it comes to that sort of financially, because there's nobody else that can really pull up all the money to where they need to for that sort of deal. And if it's that low to where you have the WWE put in play, I mean that's basically the kind of the lowest of the lows that you can get within the conference.
It's silly. It's dumb. It's such a bad idea. Like, again, I get it. You have to find sponsorships. You have to get people interested. It's like they're 20 years off, and I just
they are. Yeah, they are. That's the 20. Yeah, they are. They are, and they are. They're 20 years off with it. There are better ways to do it, but at the end of the day, I've never had a sports league that has been able to draw people in using partnerships like this. You draw people in by good and exciting games. You draw people in by making it easy for people to access, see highlights.
Add on. What you just said. Good games. That's what we're having problems with the basketball team. If you want people to show up, it's not the fancy. Yeah, it's a fancy stadium helps. It's the basketball games that, or you winning and having big opponents.
Oh.
Music. And in this corner, we have a new arrival weighing in at 160 pounds, Mr.
By God! That's Kudos music.
Oh goodness!
See, ever since you gave me the power to do that shit, I couldn't help myself.
Oh, that's okay. We've been shit talking the WWE for the past 10 minutes almost, so that's a-okay.
Jim Ross is an AEW contract. He's no longer working for them. So if OU makes it in this thing, he is available to do some play-by-play. So,
I mean, who's going to use Money in the Bank, Sean? Who's going to use Money in the Bank to take this game?
I'm in like I said, I'm in an old school mood right now. So I'm not even thinking about modern WWE shit. I'm thinking like mid-late 80s WWF. So,
oh yeah.
I'm right now in the middle of the Mega Power story arc. Just came out of SummerSlam defeating the Mega Bucks, the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase, flashing that cash. But right behind him, the 8th wonder of the world, Andre the Giant, with Bobby the Brain and Virgil in their corner. The only thing the Madness cares about right now is to keep it away from the First Lady of Wrestling. That's right, the lovely Elizabeth. Anyone puts their hands on my manager, they're going to have to deal with the madness, and they're going to have to deal with the mania. Because what you gonna do when the Mega Powers destroy you?
That was beautiful.
I know.
11 out of 10. Beautiful.
I was a Navy SEAL. Did you know that? Thanks, Jesse.
Still, that was really good.
Soaring with the eagles and slithering with the snakes. I've been everywhere in between. Yeah, but you know, regardless, at the end of the day, the cream always rises to the top. That's right. Macho Man has always been the cream that gets to the top fastest than anyone else. Oh yeah, dig it! Snap into a Slim Jim.
So I can tell you're happy that your wrestling and your football have combined into one.
Yeah, because I love mixing up mayonnaise and grape jelly on my sandwich all the time. It's great.
I thought it was how much coffee you were into.
I thought that was a fake tweet. And when I first saw it, that has to be fake. I didn't acknowledge it. Because
Okay.
I try to, believe it or not, people think I don't do anything all day. No. I go out and do things. And like the other day, I got my car. I got oil changed and went to do a little grocery shopping. Little grown-up things. I come back, it's like, oh, no, this is real. I'm like, it's what? And like the natural response from everybody is like, this is the stupidest shit.
Yes,
like the fucking logo is going to be it's going to be on top of the conference logo. It's WWE logo over the Big 12 logo in the middle of the field. And it's like,
it's the fusion dance gone wrong. It's like fat goat tanks.
Instead of the bands, we get a wrestling performance at halftime.
We get Nelly. We get Nelly. We got the Nelly concert. Remember that? So we got Nelly.
That's why I made the joke earlier, Gavin. Are we back in 2000?
The only time I can remember a sponsorship deal that I just hated as much with a sports league was 2004, when Major League Baseball tried to make the bases red for Spider-Man, and basically the fans revolted and they turned around less than 48 hours later.
Oh yeah,
this was in 2004.
Yeah, because baseball
or anything.
Yeah, baseball's not all about like promotion on like what do they call the back wall again? Remind me.
Backstop.
The backstop. What's all over the back? What's all over the backstop at every stadium in America?
Ads.
Every backstop. Oh, ads.
Yep.
Oh, so it tarnishes the purity of the game back there, but heaven forbid we put spider webs on a base. My God.
No, they were red. They were red base. No, they were red bases. That's why people were mad.
Oh no. My God.
That's the last time I can remember anything as visceral as this.
Everyone in the league doing steroids, but no, don't put webs on the bases.
Sean, when I told Dad about the WWE, there was silence, and I just heard the driest response from him. He's like, "That's stupid."
That's fucking stupid. OU's got to make OU has to make the Big 12 championship game now,
so we can keep the belt. Because if they win it and leave, they're just going to have to come up with something else.
No, only the most outstanding player gets the belt, and I hope it's Drake Stoops. Okay, so
I hope we take it to the top of the stadium and throw it off.
No, Sean.
Let's shatter.
No,
Sean. Ewers is going down, and then Arch Manning is going to descend from the heavens and win it, and win it all for Texas because
Twiggy,
it was foretold in the book of Manning.
No, see,
what's going to happen is he's going to get the belt, except he's not going to even wear it right. It's going to be an M.
Well, no, that's the Miz. No, so like I got Texas fans mad because when the news broke that Quinn is coming back, I'm like, this wasn't part of the plan, was it? And then just like got all their feelings about, for people, how dare you call out Arch Manning? So like, let me get this straight: the greatest prospect of all time, is going to be sitting on the bench for 2 years. And it's like they didn't this moron didn't understand. Like, you do realize the hype this motherfucker got, right? And you're gonna have him sit on the bench again. It's because Quinn is so good. Whatever.
If Quinn was so good, he'd be going to the NFL. By the way,
honestly, I wouldn't. I would not be. Oh, sorry.
By the way, I don't believe the Ewers thing anyway. I believe it's his intention to come back, but I also believe that if they win out and Texas has a really good playoff, he's gone. But
you said Texas in playoffs, so we know that's not happening.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm just saying a lot of time between now and January. But I think if things go really well for Ewers, which they won't, but I'm just saying take that with a grain of salt. Because if things do go right for Texas, he'll be gone.
I think, okay, this is just a tinfoil hat. I do think it's believable for him to come back versus the rumor out there. Venables is implying that Dylan's going to be back. No, Dylan's not going to be back.
No,
someone
asked the question at the press conference because they had a story they were trying to write, and so that's what brought that along. He ain't coming back.
Right.
No.
I mean, I'm not gonna hate the idea if Dylan wanted to come back, but at the same time, it's like,
oh my,
you're wasting,
bro. I love you, bro, but we actually have a 5-star quarterback who played real big boy high school football and can actually play. I'm excited for Jackson next year. Like everyone's like, why isn't he playing in the West Virginia game? Like, no,
he redshirted.
Yeah, no, like people in my chat like last on Saturday was like, put a Jackson Arnold. Like, are you? No, put in Bevel or somebody, anybody but Jack. Don't, especially how chippy the game is. Like, don't put in Jackson Arnold. It's like the last thing you want to happen. Yeah, we're gonna potentially injure our future star quarterback for a game we're up by 4-5 touchdowns. Like, no, I don't think so, Tim. So
I don't even trust that West Virginia wouldn't try to take pot shots at him. Like, they're one of the every time we play them,
we've always had scrappy games with West Virginia. Like, name me a year even if we beat their asses, like name me a year we didn't have scrappy games with West Virginia.
Last year.
That's just the culture.
Because they beat us, and that's it. Yeah, you nailed it. I could not think of how to. What were you saying, Gavin?
No, I was just saying that too, because like we've seen it happen before. 2017, Baker's game and everything else too. One of our offensive linemen also got ejected. I can't remember who it was. It was crap, I can't remember. But we, it was a very chippy as well. No, it wasn't Orlando. It was
17. When did we play West Virginia? It was at home. It was in Norman.
Yeah,
it was in Norman. Yes.
Was the snow game.
Oh no, yeah, that was Baker was suspended for a series, and
he was suspended for a series, and Kyler had that one.
Yeah, Kyler sent a message. To everybody. We have a quarterback. Don't worry, we have a quarterback next year. We're good.
Yeah.
But that's right. That was the game because they trotted out with like the 5-year-old's jersey because we had to have a memorial for Baker.
Yeah.
He was. See, that was sad and silly at the same time, but it wasn't as bad as like Michigan shit that's going on right now. Like, no one like. Now, to be fair, Riley did fucking shed some crocodile tears over that shit. So in retrospect, that was really kind of sad and silly to do that. And I understand why he got made fun of, but it's like whatever. That was before we knew what that dude was about.
Hey, Sean. USC is 3 or 4 plays away from being 10 and 1, from having 1 loss.
Yeah, my cock is 3 or 4 inches away from being 12.
You can't identify. You can't identify those 3 or 4 plays, but they're out there. Trust me. Trust him.
Yeah.
Trust the process. Lincoln, why are you on a plane? Why are you in the Chargers facility right now, man?
Yeah, my dick was 3 or 4 inches longer. I'd be able to hit something in there.
It's
That's basically what you're telling me, USC. It's like, well, my cock was just a little bigger. I'm sorry. I'm like, if any of your family members are, I just lost all.
Oh, they're in bed. It's 9 o'clock, dude. They go to bed.
That's right. You guys get your parents get the Luby's early bird special, whatever, and call it a night. That's okay. That's what my dad and stepmom do. So it's not. It's like it's what all older people do. It's like the sun's gone down. Time to go to bed.
Dude, they were talking with me about Thanksgiving stuff, and it's like, can you like meet us halfway, and I can drive them up there and drive them back, just because it's a long round trip. I'm like, that's fine. What time do you want to be up, like in Oklahoma City? 7 a.m. No, you're going to be up here at like 9 a.m. I am not getting up before the crack of dawn.
Jimmy, I always get up way early.
You laugh,
I do too.
You laugh, but many families in the Heartland and Midwest get up that early to start the turkey because it takes a long time to slow cook that thing. To do it proper.
Then they're doing it wrong.
No, you got to get up early to slow cook that turkey properly.
I know that, but then they're doing it wrong.
And if you don't have turkey, you're doing Thanksgiving wrong. I'm just throwing that out there.
I don't. Okay.
I know people who do ham. That's fine as an additional main course. If you want to do it along with the turkey, I'm fine. But you have to have turkey. Some people are ham people. That's fine.
I mean, I do
duck. In our family,
I do duck because I can't, because I'm most of the time it's like just
or goose.
Me. Just like it. Well, most because it's just.
What are you, Ebenezer Scrooge?
And duck is smaller. It's just I just prefer like if I have a big family coming over, but I never do. So it's like no, duck's perfect. Duck's
you know how worried we are about BYU
you gotta have
when we're talking about this.
You know.
Oh
you gotta have the turducken.
I've never had turducken.
Shaking my boots.
You never had a turducken? Like the late John Madden always had turducken.
Nope, never had it.
He made it. He made it famous.
Yes.
See, y'all are gonna call me heathens, but hear me out. Brother-in-law was a chef, so keep this in mind. We don't have turkey or ham. It's because he worked in his family restaurant like for 20 plus years. He got burnt out making it. Mom doesn't like to make it either because what Sean said of the early hours. We don't have it. We do steak. So, but we get like steak.
All right.
I mean that he doesn't want to cook it. And that's okay. Like he's from the time he married my sister. I think we've had ham and turkey one time, and it was because mom wanted like, can we do a traditional? And he's like, sure, we can add that to that, and we'll still do that. And
people say turkey's better. No, if people who say they don't like turkey, usually they're eating dry turkey, and that's the problem. Dry turkey's the worst. So if turkey,
there's one food worse on Thanksgiving than dry turkey, and it's sawdust cornbread.
I mean, I consider that just a thing. You use that as an extra baseball if you go out in the backyard and hit a few. But
touche.
But BYU this week.
Go back to turkey. You're right. The people who have say they don't like turkey have had bad turkey. I agree with you. 1,000%.
No one's worried about BYU this week, which I understand
why they can't score.
I know.
And they have the worst defense.
Yeah, my only concern is just like nobody getting dinged up or anything like that. That's kind of the only thing I care about.
I think the only thing we need to worry about is on their defense is Max Tooley, because he does have a lot of tackles this year. Tyler Batty with sacks, and Jacob Robinson and Eddie Heckard. They're really actually in the top for the league for interceptions. But that's it. There's nothing else with them. Their offense is atrocious, and like it's Arkansas State level of atrocious.
I was about to say Arkansas. I was like, well, I mean, I don't know Arkansas. It's like you could think of worse.
Arkansas State.
Well,
that's really bad.
Well, the other thing too, and I'm been very weary about this because I've been watching from the meteorologists I work with and everything. It was basically dealing with the weather. So because it's going to be
it's going to rain probably later in the evening, from what I said.
No, it's going to be raining during the morning when the game starts. So.
That's not what I saw. That's not what I saw 2 minutes ago.
Yeah, Gavin, I'm thinking
the really bad shit's going to happen on Sunday. The really bad shit's
I've heard that too, Gavin, that they need to watch the weather, but the rain is now pushed to Sunday.
Oh, it did get pushed. Okay.
Yeah, right now the
I
10-day
looked it up
forecast.
like 20 minutes ago. They said the bad shit's going to hit Sunday. It's going to start in the evening, Saturday evening. So
Yeah.
the fact that this
Yeah.
game is early might be a blessing. So
Oh,
we'll see.
goodness
What?
sakes.
11
Yeah,
a.m. game
10
that's actually
At least OU can run the football now.
Yeah.
correct.
Yeah, with Sopchak of all facts, finally. Ugh.
I mean, he was injured. I don't blame
mean,
Sawchuk because he was injured most of the year.
Well,
Like he just could not get over it.
well, yeah, to an extent, but then it's like I just kind of also wonder, like with all the other running backs, where we had to rely on Tolly Walker throughout the majority of the year too.
Walker.
Which I will say, God love him and everything for all that he's had to deal with and everything, but I think finally we might be able to get. And I'm just saying, I'm already looking the next season though too, with like how dangerous that running back room is going to be next season.
We ain't done with this season.
I mean, Gavin, think of it this way though. With all due respect, I think Tawi could get on team. There's going to be transfers in that running back room. In my opinion.
I have no doubt about it for sure. But we got a 5-star coming in. Sawchuk might still be around as well though too.
I think Sawchuk is staying around considering he ain't losing his spot. Like you play more than one running back, so it's not like
correct. I think Sawchuk are 5-star coming in and Tawi stay. I'm not sure about Barnes.
No, I don't. I just don't know about Barnes either because it's like he hasn't been really seen much.
Marcus Major finally loses eligibility, and it's like God bless that dude, but he's just been...
Wow. He's been here since JT Barrett.
Oh, I miss JT Barrett.
JT Barrett. What do you mean?
Oh,
Ohio State. The running joke that he was at Ohio State.
I was like JT Barrett. Like, what are you talking about?
JT Barrett. Great Ohio State quarterback, most memorable for going down so Cardell Jones could take over.
Well, because JT Barrett was taking over for what was it, Braxton Miller?
Yeah,
Braxton Miller was a starter. Then JT Barrett was the guy that said, "All right, we need to go to our third string quarterback," and they murder, death, kill Wisconsin.
Yep,
and they take away TCU's playoff berth.
Yeah,
and then Zeke runs all over Bama, and then Ohio State just out muscles that Oregon team.
That was the first playoff ever. So
and it was good.
It
was a good playoff.
Oregon tried. It's just that Ohio. It's just between Jones and Zeke that was basically you were just pounding. It was just like you were pounding a brick wall and just hoping the brick wall gives in first.
I will say, I mean, we're speaking about Ohio State for a sec. Man, I do feel bad when they face Michigan in a couple of weeks. Ryan Day's not going to get any credit because if they lose, well, Harbaugh wasn't coaching. If they win, Harbaugh wasn't.
You're stealing Andy Staples' comments from his pod tonight. You're stolen
because I saw
you're stealing
that all over Reddit and I see it all over Twitter.
No, here's the thing.
You're stealing the comments from Andy Staples that he stole from Reddit.
I'm the biggest anti-Ryan Day person. Who the hell cares? He still gets credit for beating Michigan. Michigan's undefeated. I don't care.
I'm anti-Ryan Day. Period. I don't have anything against Ryan Day.
I don't care. I don't care if Harbaugh is on the field or not. He wasn't for the first 4 games, and those still count as Michigan wins. I don't care if you're good enough to beat Michigan. Here's the thing: we don't know if Harbaugh beat Ohio State fair and square, fairly or not. So I don't care.
I need Maryland to find a way to win this weekend. That'd be great. That'd be the funniest fucking thing ever.
That would be.
Well, add to that as well. With Brooks out, do you think Texas has a realistic shot, truly, of losing?
Yes, of course they do.
Because I think that makes it very.
Here's the problem.
I'm calling it, but all week.
Oh, I know you've been calling it.
No, and you're not wrong for calling it. What I'm saying is, it's like he's like their best running back. He's like their go-to guy. I know they love Baxter. Shout out to the 407 down here in Orlando. But it's just Texas has been how many games have they had where they start off really strong, but they always let teams back in the game?
The last
Houston,
4
they did it.
weeks they had.
Houston, they did it.
Alabama.
TCU, not Alabama. They did.
No.
Out that first of all, you go into Tuscaloosa and just win. I ain't gonna take away credit from that. I'm talking about games like they did this with K-State. They did this with TCU. Did this with Houston. And some of that was Malik Murphy because he's just not good. I'm sorry. Like all this Malik Murphy was another hype dude I heard about years ago who just isn't that dude you told me he was. And Ewers is back, and they wouldn't let him throw the ball much, or they were trying to just took a miracle catch by Adonai Mitchell to seal that win. So you go on the road in Ames, and you play you play that performance, you can lose.
Yeah,
and if we officially know what our paths are, basically, if Texas loses and we win out, we're getting in. If OSU loses, they get
lose this game. They can't
they can't just lose to Tech. If they lose this game and we win out, we're in. If OSU loses any of their last 2 games, we're in. If Texas loses to Tech, we need Iowa State to beat K-State the last week, and we went out, then we get in. So those are the 3 main pathways here for us. So there is a possibility that by the end of the night on Saturday, we will know if we win, if we're in, potentially. It gets really complicated potentially the next week if we're still waiting for help. So that's root for Iowa State, root for Houston to pull it off too, because I don't know. I'm not giving the Pokes benefit of the doubt just because it's Houston.
I mean,
because everyone thought, they'll beat UCF 45-3 later.
Yeah.
So
I mean, honestly, I think if anything, we are in a little bit more favorable position. And honestly, I just really just don't know, because it's I'm been very, very having a hard time trusting OSU, because anytime they get some sort of go momentum, they always choke it either one way or another, even if it's something that's going on the field, or basically just crapping the entire bed throughout the entire game.
I know a lot of people. I know a lot of people are rooting for a Bedlam rematch.
I just don't see it. No.
What? All it takes is a Texas loss to Iowa State.
Even with the Texas loss, but I mean, that's.
I mean, I think
that's the thing too. But I just have a hard time seeing with OSU if they can win these last 2 games.
I could easily see OSU winning. I could easily see them winning both games. I could also see them losing one and looking like crap in the other. And that's the thing with OSU. You could pick either or. No one expected OSU to do what they did against K-State the night before we played Texas. No one saw that shit coming. So you got a bipolar football team, just like they have a bipolar head coach. So you just don't know what you're going to get on Saturday. So,
and I mean, Sean, you and I talked about it earlier in the week that to me there is a chance that Houston has a shot against them, because they need those 2 games to win. And I don't think there's nothing more dangerous than Houston, a team that's trying to get bowl eligible.
And that
they're going to pull out all the stops.
And that team got screwed by the refs at Texas game.
So
they got screwed.
That just added to the WWE Big 12 storyline, like you said.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I just really think, if anything, Houston beating OSU, if anything, that's more realistic. Because I don't see them beating BYU, but I can see Houston, beating OSU this game. I definitely can see that.
BYU
ain't beating anybody. I'll tell you that.
No, I'm saying Houston beating OSU. That's what I'm.
I was trying to talk myself into BYU, and I can't. So.
It's Keaton Slovis is allegedly practicing a little bit this week, but the word is if he's not 100%, he's not playing. So I don't even think that's going to matter if Keaton Slovis plays or not. To be honest, it's just.
He's going to be so rusty.
And if it matters if Slovis plays, then we don't deserve the Big 12 champ game anyway.
No, we know. So we have to win this game to avenge the death of Sam Bradford.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Could be died.
He died in September of 2009. Was never
Poor
seen
guy.
again.
It's true. It's true.
He died.
Yep,
his
he did.
his ghost came back from the afterlife and led us to a victory against Baylor. And,
and that was a struggle bus win too.
I mean,
Yeah.
we had a struggle bus offense, so
That's true too. But
Because
that's not the
you had
point.
new receivers.
that was back in the day where I tried to convince myself Brody Eldridge could play center. Yeah, he could totally do that. You know what, DeJuan Miller? He could be a tight end type player to replace first round talent Jermaine Gresham. Yeah,
You tried.
I
You
would.
tried.
I drank all the Kool-Aid back in those days, my friend. Oh, yeah, DeJuan Miller could. Yeah, I could put. Yeah, DeJuan Miller could do it. Let's go. DeJuan Miller couldn't do it. So
No. You tried.
like if DeMarco breaks another tackle and scores on that opening drive instead of settling for 3 points, who knows? We might win the game. I'll never forget how easy it looked for DeMarco. Just take that little dump off pass and just like gets down like the 10-yard line, first and goal. And Landry or Sam couldn't punch it in with anybody because our O line was trash outside of Trent Williams, and it was just settle for the field goal.
Oh, that's so disappointing.
Stupid Colt McCoy tackling Brian Jackson on that pick. That could have been a game winner potentially.
Yep. It's kind of wild. Like if you think about it, Texas is kind of having an 08 Sooners season where they lost to their rival. And now it's like they could potentially get into the playoff. They have to win out, but they're having almost a little bit of that season.
We're not. I don't. It's not quite the same thing because
maybe like a 15, maybe.
No, the controversy was like because everyone in the world knew OU and Texas were the two best teams in the Big 12. The problem was that you couldn't match them up in a rematch because they were in the same division. So someone had to put Missouri or Kansas was going to get in or whatever. And, it's like, ooh, they beat Missouri. We did that too. It's like, yeah, it sucks. But I always tell people, don't, the problem was like, we won that tiebreaker because we whooped Texas Tech so badly.
Yeah,
that's basically because we didn't just beat Texas Tech, we whooped their ass. And
great game to be at.
Oh yeah, it was great. It was like one of my favorite moments in person to be which has been superseded by in the game I attended this year.
Nice.
How can you beating Texas with 15 seconds left? It's fantastic. Oh, the offense works on the last drive. Who knew?
Man,
and then they went.
Man, take me back in time. I remember watching that Crabtree catch, where Crabtree was.
I dreamed that I did that. Good for you, man. I dreamed it. I dreamed it in my head. Thanks, Crabtree.
Wide receivers are some wild cards. You never know what you're gonna get.
I dreamed it. It's like I appreciate it. Yes, you did. You dreamed it.
Hey, Sean, while I'm thinking of it, by the way, with mentioning the matchups, I heard your live stream with Eric, and you talking about Barry Trammell cracked me up a whole lot while I'm thinking about it.
Oh, well, I just did the same joke I did with you because
but then Eric was like, "Yeah, he's really loud." He was trying to talk about these tiebreaker scenarios. It was pretty funny.
There are only three things. There are only three things on the moon: the American flag, cheese, and Martian spacemen. And they don't look like they're part of the United Federation of Planets to me. Back to you, Jenny. I just assume he says back to you, Jenny, because she's part of the sellout.com or whatever thing. So
and still
that Bob is a part of, and so it's, or is Bob part of it? I don't know. Bob has his own YouTube channel that nobody watches. I'm not being mean when I say it's just nobody really watches it. It's just like he sits down with that one dude who does a bunch of narrations for some OU stuff I've heard before, and it's just like
Toby Rowland.
No, it's not Toby. It's some other dude. It's like I recognize his voice from other things, and it's like
Mark Rogers.
No, I don't know. Like if you like, it's like I used to say, hey, I got more subscribers than Bob Stoops on his own YouTube channel. It's awesome. But Bob sits down in a chair and talks for 20 minutes about things that are going on that week with OU and other college football things, and every once in a while he has something interesting to say. But Bob basically is one of the few people who came out and said, sign stealing is a huge advantage, because whenever I hear anyone say out loud that sign stealing isn't a big deal, I just know they're compromised and full of shit. Hi, Robert Griffin III. Fuck you. It's not an advantage.
Brad McMullen.
Yeah, anyone who says sign stealing wasn't an advantage for Michigan are full of shit and are just exposed for being, what they are.
By the way,
you're in the pocket of somebody.
By the way, I love Michigan. They went crazy. They tried to do all this stuff. They were going to go to court. They were going to show all the haters wrong. No, actually, Carver would take the 3 games, sir.
Yeah, you know what happened? The NCAA said, well, "We have this piece of evidence right here. Are you sure you want to fight this?" They're like,
no, sir.
You should probably take the
become public in discovery.
You should probably take the suspension, and we'll think about not fucking you up in the off season, because I really do believe that's what happened.
Yeah.
Oh, I believe you.
You can try and fight this if you want, but guess what's going to happen in like March?
Yeah.
During spring practice, we're gonna fuck up your first season in the new Big Ten when SC, Oregon, and Washington and UCLA come join in.
Future Chicago Bears.
I don't care. I'm at the point where I don't care who wins the Natty. I just don't want it to be Michigan. Fuck. Let Georgia have 3 in a row. Fuck it. Who cares?
They're already there. You might as well.
I mean, no Michigan or Bama. Those are the only 2 I really.
I don't care. Bama can win it too. I don't give a fuck.
All right,
like,
okay.
Okay. I don't care. It's not Michigan.
Yeah, Michigan. Yeah.
Like Michigan's insufferable. I hate the fucking media who just sniffs their crotch and changes their underwear for them. It's just really sad and pathetic. Like most of them are on Fox.
At least have some dignity. I get just being I get towing the company line because
put a chick in it and make her gay.
But come on, but come on, no one's making you tweet all that stuff and all those lame defenses.
It's not an advantage for Michigan. Then why did you do it?
Exactly. Why did you spend all this money?
Sean, you mentioned it in your live stream. Who do they sniff more, Michigan or Urban Meyer?
Well, no, Urban Meyer is Michigan State. There's a handful of Michigan State people who are dreaming that Urban Meyer will be their coach because they're taking the mentality of I don't care what he did, I want to win, which I actually respect. If it's like I don't care what he allegedly did or if he's a scumbag, I want to win football games. At least you're upfront about it.
Yeah,
but he's not going to Michigan State. So,
no.
There's apparently a name somebody knows for Michigan State, one of the Michigan State insiders, and I don't know who it is. I don't just based on that alone, I don't know who it is. But they're not what the guy said. Like no one's going to be happy with that name. They're actually going to be really distraught if they hire this certain person, whoever it may be. I mean, that could be a number of names. So
I was gonna say my immediate's Art Briles.
No, I don't think it's that. I don't think it's that. It's just whoever it is, it's not going to be good. It's not that it's not going to be good enough. It's just going to be really bad, and it's really going to because Michigan State's like they have a terrible board of regents that just interfere in shit that won't get out of their own way, and it's just the Michigan State's in a shit show. Like the whole Big Ten right now is like in a 1970s mode right now. It's basically 2 schools who run it basically.
Michigan. So a homeowners association.
Sure, why not? It's the 1970s Big Ten. It's Michigan, Ohio State. I don't count Penn State because they don't have a quarterback who can throw the forward pass. Like Drew Aller, my God, cannot hit the broadside of a barn. He literally can't. It's like I'm watching that dude throw. It's like, my God, I will never complain about Jeff Lebby's offense the rest of the year because we don't have that. We're not that fucking bad. Jeez.
Yeah, like it's.
You're competing with Iowa for worst offense. At least they have an excuse. At least their quarterbacks are hurt. They had Cade McNamara who could throw the ball at Michigan, and he's hurt. So I'll give Iowa a pass. God, Penn State having an offense that bad is inexcusable.
Well, it's why they want to get rid of their coach, but he keeps doing just enough that he wants to.
And it's like a 5-star quarterback too. Like, could you imagine if Jackson Arnold did that shit? We would lose our goddamn minds in Norman. We would all lose it.
Franklin should be gone. You know what? I'll say this. Speaking of coaching searches, hats off to the Aggies for, I guess, trying to get Dan Campbell. I don't know why a guy would go from the NFL to A&M, but
No, that was yesterday's news. Now they're trying to get Dion.
Get Dion and A&M.
What did you get Dion for? What?
Yes. Actually, no. Please.
Can that hang on? Can that motherfucker have a winning record at Colorado first before we crown him?
Yes, exactly.
Can he build something at Colorado first? I love Deion Sanders. I grew up a Cowboys fan. He was awesome. He did a great job at Jackson State and everything. Give him his flowers for that. But can we stop pretending Deion Sanders is going to make your program better before he can do it at Colorado?
Maybe louder.
Get your program in place to win a Big 12 title in the next 2 years. It's going to be a big conference. There's a lot of teams in it. There's not one big dog. There's a bunch of medium-sized dogs. And you can win in a battle against a bunch of medium-sized dogs because winning the Big 12 will get you in the playoff guaranteed. Guaranteed, because they're trying to change it from the 6 highest conference champions to 5 because the Pac-12 doesn't exist anymore, and they don't want to give 2 bids to the group of 5. But we need to make a rule change, just like the Big 12. We need to make an emergency rule change. It's going to be a 5-7 format instead of a 6-6.
Yeah.
So if you win the Big 12, you're getting in the playoff.
The Pac-12 minus 10. Is still
no. They're having they're going to have a scheduling alliance with the Mountain West, meaning they're going to join the Mountain West without actually joining the Mountain West. They want to keep their own little logo.
They'll just be the it'll just be the Pac Mountain 12 or whatever. Who knows? Who cares?
It's so silly because
they're the last Kryptonians or Saiyans alive or whatever. Pick your pick.
Hey, you know what? They might as well. Oregon State and Washington State have no reason not to drag this and make it as difficult as possible. So hats off to them. I don't know what they'll gain by it.
Hey, I think Oregon State's winning this weekend.
Really?
I think Oregon State's
really.
I think the Beavs are favored
by a point, aren't they?
They're still favored. Point. It's like one.
That's fair. Don't get me wrong.
They're still favored.
I understand
that. I think the Beavs are winning this weekend. I think that's I think there's a good shot. Over the next 2 weeks, the Pac-12 plays himself out of the playoff. It's very possible.
I agree with that.
It's possible.
Well, I've said if you have this situation, which if it's Washington. Or if you have Washington,
the Beavs could do it twice, man. They could beat Washington. They could beat Oregon potentially. They could really screw shit up.
Assuming Ohio State or Michigan wins out, one of them's going in. I think Georgia's going to beat Bama. I'm just going with that. So
I would be careful assuming that.
That's who knows.
Here's my scenario. I love.
Go with it.
Because us beating Texas. Let's just pretend Texas wins out. I know that makes me want to throw up my mouth a little bit, but let's just say they do.
I like that.
If Alabama, let's say there's one spot left, right?
Mm-hmm.
Alabama beats Georgia.
Ooh.
Everyone's going to scream head to head. And in principle, I agree with them. But man, I'm going to tell you, if you beat Georgia and if you beat them somewhat convincingly, how many times has a committee told us head-to-head is important when things are close, but it's not the only thing?
Whenever it benefits.
Literally
whenever it
Texas.
Whenever it benefits.
Like Texas was like when OU and Texas were 1 loss each, Texas was ranked above Oklahoma.
Yeah.
We beat them head to head. They didn't. So that's a precedent right there. If one of the last things we see on in a couple Saturdays from now is Bama beating Georgia.
Yeah.
Not just rando SEC East team, Georgia. Texas fans will have every right to scream to the ends of the earth, or to echo through the grand, whatever.
Yeah.
Just they will have every right to be mad. I'm telling you, if
That's right.
Alabama found a way to win by 2 or 3 scores and it's not even close in the fourth, I would be really nervous if I was in Austin, Texas.
Well, I mean, that's
I'd
why
be super nervous.
Well, that's why I think they moved Georgia.
Because would you
one.
keep out? Are you going to keep out a 1-loss SEC champion, or are you going to take the 1-loss Big 12 champion who limped their way to a win, who it doesn't quite look like the same team you saw that went down there to Tuscaloosa? You're missing a few pieces. Quinn's shoulder is not still 100%. You could, like, all the talking heads are going to be talking about that for 24 straight hours.
Man,
who would be the one before it would be?
And Texas would be in the right. And I'm saying this.
Well,
Texas would be every right to be mad. And I would say you guys should be in there. But I know how this shit works. They will find a way to weasel these teams to get both Georgia and Alabama in there.
Well, I think Sean's assuming. Well, I mean, in that we assume Big Ten undefeated, whoever. I'll assume Florida State goes undefeated because why not? And then you have, I'll go with this too. Let's say Washington.
How about this? 1-loss Georgia.
Okay.
How about this? 1-loss Georgia, 1-loss Texas with a Big 12 title.
Man,
do you keep out the defending champs, whose only loss was to Bama? Quality loss. Bunch of wins, a bunch of quality wins under their belt. What if they what if they only lose by like a field goal or something? Are you going to keep out Georgia over Texas? I'm telling you, this is the last year we're going to be having these conversations for this tight of a playoff, and I would just sit back and enjoy seeing all that shit. It would be hilarious to me. Now, I don't think Texas won the Big 12 championship, mind you, because I think they're Texas is messing around. They're fucking around, about to find out the way they play in some of these games.
That'd be fun. Yeah, that'd be funny.
But man, if Bama were to win out, because they got to play their garbage cupcake this week, they got to play the Iron Bowl, which Auburn is just awful.
Yeah, but I mean, Iron Bowl can always be. Iron Bowl.
Auburn's not good enough this year. All due respect, Auburn's not like.
Yeah.
If Auburn was 8 or 9 wins good, I would have that conversation with you.
Okay.
It's not happening this year. Auburn's what? They're 6-4. I'm not.
They're better than Florida. That's not big to say, but it is better than Florida.
And someone's gonna pop up and say, "Well, they only lost to Georgia by 7. They got crushed by LSU. They only lost to Ole Miss by 7." So, it's a home game, and Jordan Hare. I can't go there. It's just.
I put it like less than 5%, but it's still feasible, maybe in the right.
I don't know.
It's feasible, barely.
My problem is that you're asking me if Peyton Thorne can lead them to victory. You know what I mean?
Okay, yeah. Why don't you put it like that?
Can Peyton Thorne do it? The Michigan State transfer? It's like, I don't know, Davey.
I don't know. It's gonna be. It's gonna be interesting. I assume the Pac-12 collapses, but we could also. I also have to admit it would be funny, not for me, but fun. But
not for me, but
not for me because let's say Texas wins out, but the one time it happens, like you have 4 other undefeated teams. I don't think it will. I want to be clear. I don't think that will happen. Someone will slip up in the championship game. Someone always does. But it would be incredibly funny that the one year Texas wins the Big 12, has 1 loss, and Florida State's undefeated, Washington's undefeated, Ohio State, Michigan's undefeated, and Georgia's undefeated, and you're just fucked, Texas. Sorry.
You know who's not getting any shot, and this like angered me. So I'm
State.
angry for
Oregon?
I'm angry for a fan base.
Oregon?
I'm angry for Louisville fans.
Oh, Louisville, okay.
And I'll tell you why. Because one of the most useless things ever created, the All-State Playoff Predictor, which
I
is
thought
just,
the FBI was the most useless
I think
thing.
they're both kind of the same thing, but it's like I think they're useless. Here's what's funny: they had a bunch of teams, like what their percentages for making the playoff are.
Mm-hmm.
Oklahoma was 1%, and I'm like, break out the Dumb and Dumber memes. So you're saying there's a chance. But they had Louisville at 1%, and I said, hang on a fucking minute. Correct me if I'm wrong, but Louisville, if they win out, means they would beat Miami, beat Kentucky, beat Florida State, and you're telling me a one-loss ACC champ Louisville has no shot to get in the playoff? They have the same percentage chance as Oklahoma. I would be outraged if I was a Louisville fan. You should feel outraged. It's a slap in the face. We got 2 losses. It would take you understand the type of chaos it would take for Oklahoma to make the playoff.
Yeah.
Like let's play doomsday scenario. This shit's not happening. I'm trying to give an example of how stupid the playoff predictor is. Where's my goddamn rankings? Okay, so we're number 14, right?
Mm-hmm.
We need to beat BYU, TCU, make the Big 12 championship, and win that by 100. Our best chance is to get Texas at 1 loss and beat them down.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that. That would, let's say that gets us somewhere in the top 10. If we were to do that just by ourselves, we get in the top 10 somewhere. We're kind of like around 8 or 9 at the end of the day. Okay. So you would need like Louisville to lose to Miami, maybe Missouri to lose to Florida. You need Bama to drop a game to Auburn. They still clinch the SEC. Arizona State beating Oregon would help. That puts them 9-2. You need Washington to lose to Oregon State and potentially Washington State. So that's 2 losses for them. Then you would need Michigan maybe to lose to Maryland and lose to Ohio State.
Mm-hmm.
And then, yeah, I could feasibly see craziness where if we were impressive enough, I could throw in a few more things here and there, I guess, if you really want to be sure. But that's kind of the shit it would take. Because we're talking about getting a 2-loss team in there. I think the best shot, if like, I'm just making this shit up. This is not happening. Someone's going to say, you're just trying. No, I'm just saying this is how insane it would have to be. And you're saying we're 1% and so is Louisville. Louisville just needs to win out and they're in the conversation in a couple Sundays from now. Like,
yeah,
that's just stupid.
You want to know why it's 1%? I mean, let's say the quiet part out loud. It's because Louisville fans do not travel well. And that's why they're not part of the
that has nothing to do with it. No, it doesn't.
It does. Yeah,
that has nothing to do with it.
Louisville's not a sexy team. Louisville's not a sexy team.
Look, listen.
The fact they weren't ranked.
I'm being facetious here. I'm being facetious here, okay? Because Louisville almost lost to UVA. All right, so I understand why they think Louisville's I understand people who think Louisville's a fraud, and I'm not going to argue that too hard. But it's like we're a 1-loss Power 5 team, and if we magically win out, if we beat Miami, beat Kentucky, beat Florida State.
That's
Hi, we're on the final episode of The Bachelor. You know what I mean?
I mean,
yeah.
They beat Notre Dame. I mean,
we have a chance of getting a rose.
They beat Notre Dame. They beat Notre Dame, which not great, not the best win.
The problem is they lost to fucking Pitt.
Yeah.
They didn't just lose to Pitt.
You lost to fucking Pitt. That's why they gave them 1%.
Pitt put them in the ground.
It has nothing to do with like how they travel.
Put them in the ground. They only lost. I mean, they lost double digits, but they didn't get
Yeah, but double digits to Pitt. Say that out loud. Pitt is not good. In fact, Pitt's playing. In fact, here's the thing. Pitt's playing right now.
Pitt was better a couple of years ago. They're not the same team.
And yeah, I mean, congrats. Pitt did beat Boston College for their 3rd win of the season. Pitt is not good. They're just not good. And here's the thing.
But I'm mad if I'm a Louisville fan. I'm just saying that. Someone out there cares. I just want to be that person. I care, Louisville.
That's a fair point.
You got rid of your racist, your number one racist donor, and you got his name off of your stadium. And what that's good for you. He really doesn't like black people. But yeah, I felt Louisville deserved a little bit of love from somebody out there who wasn't just a fan or all these people. Just you guys are outside the top 10. You have a 1% chance of making the playoff. I would be upset. I would be in their shoes. I just want to say someone out there cares about you.
Beat Florida. Well, 3 big weeks left. We'll see what happens. I think they're going to. I don't think it will happen, but never beat Florida State. We don't know what Florida State is this year. Like Florida State,
Florida State's all right. They have arguably the best wide receiver in college football, not named Marvin Harrison Jr. and Keon Coleman. So it's Florida State's like they're good. They don't feel like dominant 90s Florida State, but they're good. I don't think Florida.
I don't know how. My point.
I think like Florida State Washington would be a really good game.
Oh, it would be.
But
I just like. I pick Florida State to win. It's hard for me to go with Washington because man, they should have lost like 2 or 3 games. Good Lord.
Washington and Texas have been playing.
I lost sleep watching Arizona State come that close. And if you had to visualize how my fingers are just very close together, that close to getting beat by. If Arizona State doesn't throw a pick 6 late in the 4th quarter, which was the only touchdown Washington scored in that game, they messed around and almost found it with Stanford. They went up to They went up to Palo Alto against Stanford in front of 12 people, nearly lost to Stanford.
Yeah.
And so it's like, well, they're still undefeated. Everyone thinks like Oregon gets a rematch and they just curb stomp them this time. And they're probably right. Because if Dan Lanning isn't a psychopath and doesn't go for 2 all the time, they win. Just kick extra points, you maniac!
Or kick a field goal. If you have 1 play left before halftime,
kick extra point!
Kick a field goal. You don't pin them deep. Just Dan.
There's like 2 or 3 college students that were on game day this year that can make a fucking extra point for you.
Even the guy who kicked the cameraman, he can make the extra point.
The guy who was at OU Texas came so close to making it. He probably could hit you an extra point from 2 yards out.
Dan, there are people in Oklahoma who kick for Chick-fil-A for a year. They are available.
Just kick the extra point. Like Dan Lanning, it's like Dan Lanning's not leaving Oregon. He's not taking other jobs. But like what is it with Oregon and all these? Like Oregon's got this thing with going for 2. Chip Kelly did that shit all the time.
Because there's this stupid statistic out there from NCAA.
The analytics tell me I should go. Mother, kick the extra point. It's a free point.
Here's the thing.
It's free.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. The analytics only work if your team can do it. Like there are some teams. You can give them 100 chances to go. You can give them 100 chances.
Hey, shut up, Sweetie. I feel like you're talking.
And they only get it 10% of the time.
You're on
some
the
teams
road.
can do it 80. Like you have to think about it. That still pisses me off. You go for the touchdown. No, you go for the touchdown going into halftime. Don't just kick the field goal. Like this is a close game. This isn't like you're messing around with Colorado, Colorado, a team who the gap is so big they're not going to beat you. Those 3 points did end up being super important against Washington. It's too close a game. It's just you almost let USC back in it because you decided to goof around with them. Like I like Dan Lanning. I think Oregon's a good team, but sometimes pull back on the tricks, guys. Just please do.
Well, and I get Oregon going for it for the first time. Like that's their tradition every time they get their first touchdown. But after that, it's like, guys, you got to get points.
I
Who
felt
cares
like
if tradition?
I felt like
Do
Krusty.
it.
I felt like Krusty the Clown in that one Simpsons where he bet on the Generals over the Globetrotters. He's spinning the ball on his finger. Just take it. Take it from. I thought the Generals were due.
It's
See, Josh doesn't get those jokes because he doesn't watch classic Simpsons.
he is not a man of culture.
He's a heathen.
That's okay.
I make all these Simpsons references and he gets none of them.
I laughed still. I got the super, super deep level of it. So does that count?
Because like Krusty the Clown's like finance team is like, you're out of money, Krusty. And it shows him like lighting a cigar by burning like Action Comics #1. I don't know. Just like I don't know why I'm losing so much money. It's just like burns a copy of Action Comics #1 to light a cigar. It's like, oh my god, that hurts my feelings so much.
I mean, the closest thing I can think of was the King of the Hill episode with Hank and the Ace of Diamonds. I remember that where they were trying to win the charity. Hey, we could actually beat them, guys.
Yeah. Ruin the fun charity thing. Great job, Hank. Great job.
Is it okay if I feel like I don't want to live anymore? Yes, Bobby, that's normal. See, I didn't break out all that stuff because I was at the game and I could only do so much from the Cotton Bowl and the fairgrounds. Because if I was just back home, I'd have all that shit ready to go. Is it okay that I feel like I don't want to live anymore?
God, the Bengals secondary makes me sad.
Oh, I turned that game off because I'm done with Thursday night football, and it's not going to happen anytime soon. They need to stop Thursday night football.
No,
it's okay because
too many guys get hurt.
You got Joe Burrow hurt. You got Mark Andrews hurt, and
it's okay because there's not going to be NFL Thursday night anymore. It'll be college Big 12 and Thursday night football.
No,
well, even that, you got a deeper roster in theory because what you got 50? What do you got 52 guys on the sideline for an NFL game?
Yeah,
it's like college. You got at least a little more depth you can play with. The problem with it's like the NFL. It's like guys you have teams who don't necessarily have a bye week the week before to get ready for a Thursday game. Dallas is it every year, but at least they know it's coming.
This is the Bengals' third game in 10 days. Like that.
Yeah, that's insane.
That's
exactly.
wild.
Yeah. They should not. Yeah, that was not good scheduling on the NFL's part. There's always one team. There's always one team that gets screwed over by that. But
I'm not even a Bengals fan. It's like, why are you doing this?
But this is how my week was. Josh, Gavin, I was going to see you earlier, but I'll say it now. Been a rough week. Really looking forward to Thursday night football. He says, triggering a wellness check.
Yeah, things aren't going well for your Browns.
It happens. You move forward. That's life in the NFL. You either win or you don't. If you win, good. If not, what are you gonna do? That's the NFL. And I mean that. The NFL. I mean that the NFL. Half of the NFL is about survival. The reason the Chiefs have 2 Super Bowls is because Mahomes and Kelsey are both healthy. And because the one Super Bowl they lost, their offensive line was decimated at the exact wrong time, where the Buccaneers had that really, really great defensive line, and there's just nothing Mahomes could do, even with Hill and Kelsey. Dude was running for his life. Any kind of okay offensive line wins it. But the Bills just destroyed their line. Because once again, you only have so much depth in the NFL, and you're throwing guys out there who should not be starting in the Super Bowl. So, it happens. It happens. You do what you do with it. Ravens have had how many years ruined because Lamar's gotten hurt? So
a lot.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. That's life. So I don't know. I don't know. Go Browns. Go Texans. CJ Stroud's killing it up.
Oh no, Deshaun Watson out for the year with an injury to his shoulder. You just hate to see it.
Yeah, and all the money they're putting on him too.
You just hate to see it. You really do.
Yeah.
Oh no. Anyway,
Before we wrap up, Gavin, are you ready for your alumni to probably get their butts kicked by Carl Albert tomorrow night?
Oh my gosh, yeah, I am.
Have fun with that.
So, yeah, going up against, I would call it the mini OU is how I put it.
No, Carl Albert at this point's the Alabama.
Yeah.
Because they're murder, death, killing everybody.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say this, Kevin Sperry, Xavier Robinson. I mean, they've got like 3 or 4 guys committed to OU. It's so crazy.
Like when Carl Alberts is up 52-0 in the first quarter, you just go up to the head coach at Carl Alberts and go, Carl, that kills people. Oh, right, yeah. Carl.
Oh, man.
Why, Carl?
I mean, they're gonna win it. So, guys, I want to thank y'all for joining tonight. I want to thank everybody for joining on a Thursday night. I had work this previous time, so I could not do Wednesday night, so it had to be Thursday. So, everybody, be sure to comment.
Josh, one thing before we go, you should just find old episodes on Wednesday, see if anyone notices.
Oh, that's mean.
That kills.
That's real mean, Andrew. That hurts.
Oh, that was a
but
joke.
I'm
joking. Nah, I'm joking.
But would they? They might. Be sure, guys, comment, rate, subscribe, like, hit the bell when you know when we upload. Again, watch old videos. As Swiggy said, Gavin, good luck to your high school team tomorrow. They're gonna need it. Boomer Sooner, guys.
One more time. One more thing.
One more thing. Beautiful.